Yeah, but I also find this rule really stupid because you have to say bye bye man. Like, have nobody ever said like bye bye man when they say goodbye to each other or what?
Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Movie Time. And we are still working under Corona circumstances, so the audio might not be 100% as the last 3 episodes we show, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, everyone probably understands.
Yeah, everyone. As long as we understand, I think like the majority of listeners understand. Okay. We have been looking at this movie or watching this movie called Bye Bye Man. It's a attempt to a horror movie. I would say more of a psychological horror movie than this typical, let's say, Conjuring horror film. It was released in the year 2017. The director is Stacy Title. I didn't realize her last name was Title until I actually said it.
Wow.
It's her problem, I guess. Writers are Jonathan Penner. So let's just jump right into it. Can someone just explain the plot, real simple?
It's about 3 college students that move to a house. It seems like a normal old house, but then they find this writing in a nightstand, and it turns out that what's written there is some kind of cursed name, and if you speak that name or you think that name, then some kind of serial killer ghost will come to haunt you and come to get you.
It will basically drive you mad until you die for some reason.
It's some sort of ghost or demon more.
They compare it with like the Reaper or something.
Yeah, or the Babadook. Because that's the same in that movie. I think that you need to read the book for him to start appearing.
Yeah.
One thing just out there, did you really need to think his name, or didn't you have to say it?
I don't know. Well, for him to appear, probably need to say it, but they keep repeating that the whole movie. Don't think it, don't say it.
Yeah, but I think that means that if you think it, you might say it.
Yeah, I don't know. But in any case, it was them saying the name that first made him appear.
Yeah, because it starts appearing after a seance where they want to talk to ghosts for some random reason.
Yeah, it's like this goth girl who basically says that she is sensitive to this kind of stuff, and they basically want to try it out. None of the characters really believe her, but they still try it out.
Isn't that like a really strange reason? Before they do this seance, they have some sort of housewarming party.
Yeah.
And I think she's there. And then they just she asks if she can run around and do burning some candles or something to get rid of ghosts.
Yeah.
And then they get into doing a seance for no reason. It just felt out of place that they forced it into that. I think
You keep saying that's strange, but that sounds exactly like the kind of thing we would do, actually.
Yeah, but it still is strange. I mean, this feels like a typical American party, and I don't really get the timeline in my head because did the party go on until the night and they were like still up to doing it?
It happened that night, I think.
Yeah, I just think it's weird. I don't buy it. I think they could have done that better.
I don't know. I don't find it weird, but I don't know. Maybe it's funny.
If it's funny?
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool thing. Some people think.
What happened to the rest of the people?
They went home.
So there were only those 4 left.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 3 people that lived there and 1 more guest.
Yeah, but why did she stay?
Because she wants to fuck the friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, the John guy. Okay, let's move into the characters. I'm getting sidetracked here. This is just something I annoyed me on. Let's start with the couple. So first off, Elliot. Who is Elliot?
He's the main character, basically. He finds out about most of the stuff that happens in the movie and tries to control it and stuff. He and his best friend and his girlfriend, I guess they rent or do they buy this house?
They rent it.
Yeah, from the 60s, I think. No one's lived there since. And it's a pretty big place, but it's pretty run down. And they start living there and shit happens.
That also felt out of place. I mean, the entire house thing. We'll get back to that. But okay, but what do you think defines Elliot as a character? What makes him search for the answers to this weird creature or demon? And how is he believable to be this kind of person? I mean, first off, this is quite typical in movies per se, but he's very skeptical to this entire thing.
Yeah, but I still think he pulls it off pretty well. I think he's actually the strongest character in the movie for me.
I also think he does a good job. I think he's a good character.
Yeah, I agree. He is definitely the strongest person. And one problem I had with him is that he goes from being skeptical to a believer pretty fast.
Yeah, he also goes from skeptical to batshit crazy pretty fast as well. So.
Yeah, he goes from skeptical to believer and believer to batshit crazy pretty fast. And the movie isn't that long, so... Okay, let's move on to Sasha. She is his girlfriend, Elliot's girlfriend, but she is super boring, and she doesn't really do much in the movie.
No, she doesn't really have any personality.
No. This is quite strange. This is like the second time in a row we have only 3 characters. The difference between the last movie, which was Temple, yeah, is that I find that Elliot has some depth as a character. I think he has some characteristics that define him. He's how should I say? He's
well thought out, basically. He's a pretty good character. The others...
I mean, okay. So Sasha she's just like this bland character. She's only there to be his girlfriend, to create some sort of... There's a reason that there have to be a girl here, because they have a hard time otherwise creating some sort of drama or jealousy if there were 3 guys and no one really lived together. So they create this Sasha character to be Elliot's girlfriend in order for Elliot to mistrust John when he's going batshit crazy, as we described before.
Yeah.
But that means that Sasha is not more than a plot device in this movie. And the writer don't really seem to even care of giving her personality. She's just going around and being sick all the time. That's pretty much what she's doing.
It really
but
is like that. She's very bland as character.
Yeah, but the actress, she isn't that great either. Like she has to act being sick, and her sneezing and stuff. You can tell that it's not real at all.
She doesn't really have much to work on, but of course the sneezing is it's an easy thing to pull off, I would say.
Yeah, it's like talking a bit slowly, and then she's just like achoo, and it's like not believable at all.
It sounds like a cartoon character. I can't figure out whom though.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Peter in Family Guy when he has his children sneezes or whatever it is. Okay, so let's move on to John. John is Elliot's best friend and the third guy who lives in this house. John is a very easy character. He is a very stereotypical character. He's a good-looking guy who is into sports, and he's cool. Yeah. He's like a high school jock.
Yeah, he's a real womanizer.
Yeah, they basically show everything about him except his penis.
Mm-hmm. And you can see
multiple times.
You can see that he had no problem with that.
No, he probably got off on that.
He's like Matthew McConaughey. It's like, is there a scene where I can pull off my shirt? Like, yeah, sure. We can surely pull this off. I don't really like this kind of characters. It's been done so many times. I was actually surprised that John survived the long that he did. Because I really thought that they did him as this character because they wanted you to hate him. People have a hard time relating to this over-the-top guy, king of the world guy.
The best-looking guy ever, and the friendliest guy ever. And he has a sports car, so he must be rich as well. I don't know.
That might make sense if he's rich, because I have no idea how to pay for this house.
No one wants to live. That rent was dirt cheap, maybe.
Yeah, but then his car looks like it's 3-4 times more expensive than their house.
Oh, it was a Mustang, right?
Yeah, and a pretty beefed up one as well, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so with the characters done here, we can move on to talk about the movie. I would say that before we start, what do you think about the movie overall?
I must say I actually kind of like this movie. Like, it's pretty consistent, and I thought the idea behind it was pretty good actually, and I think the acting, everything is pretty good overall, so I have no big complaints with.
No, it's definitely better than the stuff we usually watch.
Yeah, I agree. I was actually, when the movie started out, it starts out with this reporter going around in his neighborhood killing people, and you can see in his face that he doesn't really want to do it, but he has to because, of course, he is affected by this bye-bye man. And I thought it was really intriguing because I really liked the scenery. I thought it was, you could really see the everyday life there, but then they just put in this serial killer and that just runs around and starts shooting people without any specific reasons.
I must say, yeah. I think that opening scene was my favorite scene in the whole movie because it felt like a very, very strong opening, and it managed to be both beautiful and very unsettling at the same time.
I totally agree.
Yeah, and the way that it makes it, they don't put on this bluish color, when they want the scenes to look serious. They just kept it with normal lighting. It was a beautiful day, and it was just a regular day. And he goes around and starts shooting people. And when you film it in that kind of way, you don't really expect it.
No. Yeah, it was a very powerful scene.
Yeah, so I got really intrigued actually from the beginning. Then when the movie starts, I try to keep logic out of this, but why did they move to such a big house?
I have no idea.
And why did he, John, with this car that he has, with potential more money in his saving accounts, why did he move in with them in this shit house?
I have no idea.
And did he even have a job, Elliot? Because he was still studying. How did he afford to pay for this? And Sasha didn't look like she was having a job either. They never talked about their jobs or even a school.
I think all three of them are in school still.
The parents pay for it, all of them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but it's never mentioned.
It's not, no.
And it annoys me because they only wanted a big house and people in it. And I don't find it believable that these young kids, and also John, moving in with them. Like, I get that Elliot is a bit jealous of him.
And one thing I also thought about that is that they study like in, I don't know, college, I guess, and they rent this house so they could live there. So I guess it's kind of close to college. So how can this house have been empty for so long? Because one would think that such a place would actually be kind of in demand if other students want to rent it.
That was also my thought, and my thought was that it should have been some sort of beta house, some sort of frat house.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been perfect. It would have been perfect for that.
Yeah, but maybe it's because it's like a murder house or something, where people have died and other people don't want to live there because of that.
But do people really care about a murder house? I know it's a big thing in America when it's a murder house. But
yeah, they're very superstitious in America. So,
I'm pretty sure they find many people still that don't care about that and would move in still if it means lower rent.
Yeah, and also if it means that you don't have any else place to live and you need to study at this place, at this university, and you need to live somewhere, and you're being all picky because there's been a murder in the house.
Yeah, like 50 years ago. But
yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
It was something that bugged me, but they move in there for some reason. And the first thing they say is, the first thing Sasha says to the both guys is, you need to help me fix this up. I'm not going to be your maid. And I was like, well, of course. I mean, it's a big-ass house. It looks like having 20 rooms. Of course they need to fix it up. And of course they need to help. But she sounded so, mommy when she told them. Like, what kind of dynamic do they have?
Yeah, I don't know.
She's used to men being lazy. Can only watch sports on the sofa.
Yeah, but the house looked like shit.
Yeah.
There weren't even any furniture in the beginning.
It would be fun if they were like, no, you can do everything. And she had like carried a bed and everything on her own upstairs.
Exactly. There was outside playing baseball or something. One thing that also bugged me about the house was directly when they were looking around in the house, Elliot and Sasha finds the master bedroom, I guess it is. It's a very big room. And he is like pointing, here we can have the bed, and here we can have the desk. And I was like, come on, you have like 20 rooms. Can't you just build some sort of study or some sort of office? Do you need to have everything in this same big room? What are you supposed to do with the other rooms?
Maybe there weren't that many rooms. Maybe they were just really big rooms.
One big on the upper floor and one big on the lower floor. Right.
No walls.
Exactly.
But the house would actually be
Nothing.
easier to clean if they only use some rooms instead of all of them.
Yeah. Could have bought this robot vacuum cleaner or something. Would
I
have been
mean,
super easy.
they certainly look like they can afford it.
Yes, at least John. With that car, I'm probably sure cost more in month than that entire house.
Jan just employs a real maid. She comes in every day just to clean for him.
Yeah, but okay, let's move on. These things just bug me. Okay, so how is let's say the horror theme introduced into the movie?
Well, I guess they found these old coins in the bedroom. This little girl finds them. It's actually the main character, Elliot's niece.
Yeah.
She's there for the party with her dad and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes up into the bedroom and she finds these old coins. And she puts them into this old nightstand. But they they fall out all the time. I don't know. And while she's in there, there's something strange in the room. You can see that a shadowy figure. Also.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
It's going to contradict what I will say later on, but I actually did like that. But what does the coins represent?
Well, we do find out later that they are like a sign of that this bye-bye man is around, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I guess
no one has at this point read about the bye-bye man.
No.
So the coins was just some sort of paranormal annoying thing happening all the time.
Yeah, but that's one thing that bugs me as well. He shouldn't be appearing there because no one has said his name.
Exactly.
Yet.
Yeah, it was also what bugged me, that why was he able to like do stuff and appear before anyone spoke the name? It just doesn't make any sense with the premise that they're setting up.
Exactly, and that's what I mean with what I say contradicts what I said before, because I did like the scene when the dog points his head out to her, but because it kind of creates some sort of scary environment, but also it makes no sense that he's able to show himself at all.
No.
Because, and also the coins, I didn't really get that.
No, me neither. And this thing that there has to be train sounds. I guess the demon or something died at a train or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but was the train sounds really a thing? I mean, I know they spoke about it, but was it more of a... I know. Did you hear train sounds during the movie? I always heard scratching.
No, there were train sounds a lot of the time, or a few times in the bedroom. You know, it's like a train passing by and the lights flickering because of the train.
Mm-hmm.
And also in their dreams, they were hit by trains and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were all naked at one point.
Yeah, for some reason.
Did you freeze the movie?
No. Did you?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not surprised. I was just checking.
I just wanted to see her ass. I just wanted to see if it were a real thing, but it looked CGI, so I don't know. No, it's a real thing.
Whatever.
Yeah, so let's move on. Sasha and Elliot experience some sort of paranormal activity, which are manifested itself by slamming doors and throwing these coins all over the place. At this point, I mean, it could just be some sort of regular ghost, whatever, but it has to be the bye-bye man trying to contact them in a way.
Yeah, and shadows moving and stuff.
Yeah, so if he has the power to intervene in the real life, why not just put a paper in front of them where it says "Bye bye, man" and hope someone will say it out loud?
That would be very convenient.
Yeah, because the way they find it out, his name, I didn't find convenient.
No.
I thought it was stupid. Because
Why would he like rip out the bottom of the nightstand and find those words underneath that?
yeah, for me, there was nothing indicating that he could even pull that out.
I have no idea.
It was just a bit of paper. So Elliot goes through the nightstand because he puts a coin in there and it always falls out, and then he figures there has to be some problem with the nightstand, which I can buy.
Mm.
And then he starts reading.
Yeah, but if you put this nightstand by your bed, why haven't you checked the drawer in it before this happens?
I mean,
you should have seen that paper of the don't say his name, don't think it, whatever. You should have seen that right away if we're logical.
Yeah, you mean that he should have just looked through the drawer right away and seen it?
Yeah, because that's what you do. If you put new furniture in your bed, you want to see how it looks inside and stuff.
A bunch of insects or anything living there.
Yeah, because you don't want to do that. You want to check it out to see that it's all right.
Yeah, and also you want to clean it, perhaps.
Probably.
Yeah.
If it's been down there for 50 years, it's probably damp and full of insects and disgusting things.
I mean,
I've just heard that. What are the odds that they are able to reuse a 50-year-old bed?
Yeah, for instance, that was my point here. Do you really want to use this old furniture at all?
No. But if they blow all the money on renting this thing, I guess they have to do with that.
No, they blew all the money on buying a Mustang for John.
Yeah.
I think he should sell his Mustang and go to IKEA.
Yeah, maybe they don't like to build furniture.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. He goes through the nightstand. There's a note there written in circles where it says over and over again, don't think it, don't say it. Don't think it, don't say it.
Yeah.
And he gets very intrigued by this for some reason, and he actually reads every word, start turning the drawer around and everything. I mean, I would just like to read the first words and assume the rest was the same. But that's just...
Yeah.
Then he rips off the paper that it was, apparently, and reads where it's been carved in with a knife, bye bye man. But he doesn't say it.
No. He just sees it. And then later on, when they have that seance, he says the name to everyone.
Exactly. And here is one thing that I could buy for the Bye Bye Man is that if they decide to have a seance, as they do, they could have manipulated her into saying Bye Bye Man instead.
Yeah.
Or tricked them into saying it. And they kind of did that in some way, but he just says Bye Bye Man because he says bye bye all the time.
Yeah.
Why can't you just say the rest? If she can say bye bye, why should she not say the rest?
Yeah, but I also find this rule really stupid because you have to say bye bye man. Like, have nobody ever said like bye bye man when they say goodbye to each other or what?
That is actually a fair point. What if there is some old demon like that and accidentally summon it by saying its name even though you don't mean to?
Yeah.
That is actually something I didn't think about. It's a very common phrase.
Yes. One would think if it's a demon, it would be much more complicated. Or
yeah.
It's probably smart of the demon to have it that simple, but it doesn't make any sense in real life.
His original name was like a 20-letter word, but he changed it bye bye man just to increase the chance of people saying it.
Yeah.
He has something weird in Latin, but he realized that people never says these words, so he changed it.
Yeah.
And you heard some guy in the 70s going, boy, man. It's like, I'm with you.
Yeah.
That is a good point. Yeah, okay, so he says that and stuff doesn't begin to happen. The only thing that starts to happen is that they get some sort of mental illness, all of them. Or at least get affected psychologically by this demon.
Yeah, they gradually start to have more and more violent hallucinations, basically.
What kind of hallucinations do they have?
Like that John guy, after he drives home, what's her name? I think it's Kim, the girl who has the seance.
She's a nobody.
He drives her home, and then he starts seeing like worms coming out of her face and stuff. That's basically the first hallucination.
It wasn't out of her face. It was just in her hair. It was really bad.
Yeah, I guess so.
If you saw your friend with worms in your hair, would you act all freaked out, or do you say, "Hey, dude, you got some worms in your hair"? Oh, really? Okay, thank you for telling me.
Yeah.
But he refused to say it to her. She was all creeped out by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty strange behavior by him.
Yeah, but what happens is that, well, he drops her off, but she gets affected by this too and kills her roommate.
Yeah.
So apparently everybody that was in that room that heard Bye Bye Man is now aware of him, and things starts to happen to these specific people. Kim starts out with killing her roommate, as I said. She was the one that held in the seance. She doesn't really have a big part in the movie. John starts seeing, I think he starts to see Sasha, like in a sexy way, I would say.
John also begins to see Kim like several times in like
right.
shall say disgusting ways, like with worms and covered in blood and such later and so on.
Yeah, Sasha is basically seeing John everywhere, like a sex symbol or something.
So yeah, it was like that. Yeah, exactly. So Sasha sees John, as we said, without any clothes.
And meanwhile, Elliot begins to hallucinate that he sees John and Sasha together to like give an impression that they're having an affair behind his back.
Yeah, he gets really paranoid.
And what do you think about this under the movie? Did you like that concept?
I did like it actually. What I didn't like was the ending that this led up to, but we can cover that a bit more later.
Yeah, I agree.
Did they overuse it?
Maybe a little, but it's not too bad.
I think they should have gone more with this. I think they should have used this like entirely throughout the movie. I don't think they should have used the demon or the weird demon dog that they used.
Which is also my point. But they appear mostly in the end, and I kind of wish they would have just stayed away from that and just stuck with the hallucinations.
This demon could have been more of an idea than an actual being.
Yeah. It would have been more effective. More interesting.
Yeah, exactly. More interesting, and because you don't always have to show the monster. Sometimes the monster is just what you imagine it to be.
Yeah.
Which can be fine in certain movies. And I think this would have fitted good here, I would say. So Elliot notices this stuff and starts researching what this weird demon could have been or why they start seeing these things. So he searches for it and he finds out that in this library there is a hidden unpublished article written by the guy who shot all the people in the beginning.
Yeah.
and he talks to this librarian, who is this sassy black woman. I was a bit annoyed by her, but I'm getting that. So she tells him where he can find it, and he finds it and sit down and do some research for whatever he had written in this article. And she stands beside him all the time, and she's like super into this. She's like, what did he write? Did he shoot all these people? It's like, don't you have a job to do? Why are you standing next to him, bothering him, when he just tried to do some research? Maybe it's for a school science project or whatever, you know. And she's just standing there and talking all the time while he's just trying to read it.
To be fair, it doesn't look like anyone else is in there.
And maybe she's a very lonely woman.
She felt like a forced plot device, you know, where they have to tell the story and they used her. I didn't like it. She was just annoying. She ends up hearing the bye-bye man, of course. I don't know. Did he tell her?
Yeah, well, she read it and said it out loud herself.
Yes.
And then later on, she killed her children, I guess.
Yeah. She also went crazy.
Yep.
And after he finds this out, don't say it, blah, 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 he sees the bye-bye man again and gets the fuck out of the library. And he drives. And this is what I like about the movie, is that he realizes that the bye-bye man can affect what he sees, create some hallucinations for him. So he starts to question everything that he says or sees. So he meets up with this old lady that used to be the wife to the guy that shot all the people in the beginning. And she feeds him with some little information about that she didn't really know the name and she's alive. But then the bye-bye man tries to make Elliot kill her. And so the illusion creates that he sees her started getting on fire by the firewood, I guess.
Yeah.
Fireplace. And she says, shoot me, I'm burning to death. But he realizes that that's an illusion and he ignores it. And he wins.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you yell, help me, put the fire out, instead of, help me, I'm on fire, shoot me?
She was old. She knew she didn't stand a chance.
And she's also the one that truly reveals how bye-bye man can be stopped, and the only way to do that is to kill everyone that knows the name, so the name is forgotten again.
Yeah, but shouldn't the bye-bye man started up? She gave him all the information. Okay. Whatever, he leaves the house, and here is what I mean that I liked about this, and also what I didn't like. Because when he drives, he sees his friend John standing on the road, and everybody that is watching this movie knows that this is fake, right? It's not him standing there. And he knows that too, and he drives right through it, and it's just a ghost image.
Yeah.
But then it happens again, and then this old woman, this librarian standing there. And of course, that's not a ghost, and he hits her with the car and crashes the car.
Yeah.
What I don't like about this is that why did they put John there first? I mean, they could have just have put the librarian there and kept her, because when he is driving and we are looking at this, we cannot know for sure if she is a character that's really there or not, if it's an illusion or not. Because since he drove past John, we know that was fake. We automatically know that she's real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they should have just removed John and kept her there, because then we would have questioned it a few seconds. Is it her? Is it not? I mean, we wouldn't care, but we would question it.
Yeah.
And she gets hit by a car and she dies pretty bad.
Yeah.
Her brains fall out.
Yeah.
Real nasty.
That was a pretty good effect, didn't you think?
Yeah, pretty decent.
Yeah. What happens then?
Well, then it's more or less the climax because he begins to drag himself home and everyone is losing their mind. So what happens next is that basically the three main characters are gonna start to turn on each other because the hallucinations will really start to get to them.
Yeah, and Elliot is the only one who is realizing that there are hallucinations going on. Sasha and John doesn't notice. They believe everything they see.
Or at least they're afraid of it anyway.
Yeah, and then John starts to see Sasha as Kim, the girl from the seance, and she looks really weird. She looks like she's been hit by a train.
Well, she did get hit by a train. So.
We didn't mention it, but she got killed by a train. It was really funny.
Very funny.
No, but it was really stupid. But because I mean, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. She gets hit by a train, and now she looks like she got hit by a train. That's all you need to know. And he's really afraid of her. Did she grab the scissor this time?
I don't remember.
No. What happens now is that Sasha sees John as Elliot, and John sees Sasha as Kim. And this part bothered me because John is obviously very afraid, and he keeps yelling at her to stay away. And for some reason, Sasha does the opposite. When he tries to run away and tells her to stay away, then she follows him like all around the house.
Yeah, I know. This
like
really weird.
You would react like, why? What's the matter? And you like go up to them once, but if they run away like multiple times, you realize you probably shouldn't keep following them.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is that John in the end escapes upstairs, and here he finds the scissors on a desk.
Oh, so it's John that finds it.
Yeah.
And then?
And then, because Sasha is apparently an idiot, so she doesn't get the message, so she follows him anyway. And then John begins to attack her with the scissors.
Yeah. And here is where Elliot enters the room. And he sees John stabbing her with the scissor in her face. And she yells, shoot him. And he doesn't shoot, which I thought was a bit surprising. Instead, he tackles him, and they have a little bit of a fight there. And John, I don't even know how to explain this. It's a stupid twist.
Well, Elliot shoots what he thinks is John, but it's actually Sasha.
Yeah. And
dum dum dum.
Yeah, so overwhelming, surprising. Here is what I have a problem with this. You could see John grabbing the scissor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can also see John is the one stabbing Sasha, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, because that's all you know. Of course, John has the scissor.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't him. It was Sasha, and some reason grabbed it from him that we don't know. Happened off screen.
Yeah, why would she stab Elliot in the face? Because he was afraid of her.
But yeah, that's also one thing, but that's not the point. My point is that they should have shown some sort of fight between them two that ends up with the scissors somewhere between them and reaching for it.
You mean
so
that
that
you're bothered by the switcheroo that somehow the scissors get teleport into her hands instead of John's?
exactly. And I kind of knew that it was Sasha that got shot, like right away. I knew it because it was such a dumb way of doing it. I just would like to have like an extra scene where there is a little bit of fight between Sasha and John, and where the scissor kind of lands between them, and they're both reaching for it. That's all I want. And then the twist can be like, oh, I thought John reached for it, but it was Sasha, or the other way around. That's more what I wanted. Because now when stuff happens off screen and then you force it on a twist, it's just, I think it's lazy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, she dies, and Elliot blows his brains out because he doesn't really want to tell anyone about the Bye-Bye Man.
Yeah.
John surprisingly survives.
He does.
Yeah, barely.
Barely. He looks like shit.
For once.
I bet he doesn't really have it as easy anymore with the girls.
Yeah. A few scissor stabs in the face will do that to you.
And also the third degree burn damage.
And also at this point, both the Bye-Bye Man and the Hound like fully manifest, so you can like see them properly.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cringe.
Which is what I admit, that's kind of what ruined the movie for me a bit, because I wish that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but I mean, it manifests several times throughout. I think it's okay that it manifests himself like in pictures and stuff, because that can be you watching this photo and, you know, have some sort of hallucination or anything. But he was physically standing there and pointing at him and touching him and everything, and that removes it. That hurts the movie, because now we know it's really real. I mean, he's there for sure.
I wish it would have been that the extent of Bioman's powers would only have been to be able to give people hallucinations and drive them insane, and through that make them kill each other. So that would be the extent of his powers. So that would be really cool. So I felt it was kind of ruined in the end when he started to appear, and it turned out that he can actually do other things too.
Yeah. And one last thing. Why do the Bye-Bye Man want people to kill each other to begin with? Because he wants people to say his name in order for him to exist. Would it make more sense for him to want people to live and tell about him?
I guess so.
Yeah, but to be fair, John did survive, and it shows in the end how he begins to spread it.
Yeah, but that's just lucky.
I don't know. Could have been intended.
There's no way in hell that he could control her stabbing him in the face and not hitting anything critical.
Yeah. Well, one thing that also annoys me is earlier in the movie when Elliot throws out that nightstand, he just goes outside and throws it in the forest.
Yeah.
By the river. I thought I yelled at the TV a few times. You should have burned it.
Yeah, I did exactly the same thing.
I also did that.
I was like, burn it! What the fuck? I actually thought he would burn it too, so I was very, very surprised that he just ended up throwing it in the woods for people to find.
Yeah, and
idiot.
read it. Yeah.
Okay, that has to be the dumbest move in the entire movie.
It was like, oh, I don't have any matches. Oh, well, guess I'll just leave it here then.
Yeah. He didn't even throw it in water or anything. He just threw it in the woods like 3 meters away.
Yeah. In his backyard, basically.
Exactly. Okay, let's review the movie. Who wants to start?
I mean, I can start.
Okay, go ahead.
Overall, I like this movie because I thought like the concept of the movie was pretty interesting, and I can't really complain about anything really with the actors or whatever, or the special effects really. and the opening scene was very, very good. Well, it was kind of ruined by some inconsistency, and I didn't like the ending about that Cyberman actually manifested in more ways than I thought he would, and so on. But in the end, I'm gonna give it, I think, 6 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, I totally overall I liked the movie. I thought it was intriguing from the start, and I kind of lost myself in the movie. I forgot about watching it for the sake of this podcast, which is very good, I would say. I have no problem with the acting. I mean, there are some cringe behavior from some of the actors, mostly Sasha, and John is overdoing it sometimes. But overall, I think it's fine, and it's nothing that bothers me that much. I like the dynamic between them in form of dialogue. I don't like the characters, but I think they're they overdid the characters with their personalities and underdid Sasha's. But and also there's some logical problems that I have with the movie. But I gotta say that I could recommend someone to look at it. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, I think it was a pretty good movie. I liked it much more than I thought that I would. I had seen like one review of it earlier, and that's that the movie was pretty much crap, but I don't agree to that degree, at least.
It shouldn't be affected by others.
I know, but I've seen this review like 2 years ago or something. But
okay.
But yeah, the premise was pretty cool. The opening scene was really good. The story had its flaws, and logic was a bit at times. The CGI, I wasn't that impressed, but it was okay. And I liked Elliot a lot. I thought his character was really strong, but unfortunately, John and Sasha had pretty bland characters for me. But it still didn't ruin the movie. So I liked it. It was pretty good. So 7 out of 10.
Yeah, overall a high rate, I would say.
Definitely better than most of the movies we watch.
Yeah, much better. At least something happened in this, and it had some progress and some involvement of the character. So, yeah, it's better than the last Temple film we saw.
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think we're running out of time now, so I think we should just end it here. So, Thank you for listening, and see you next time.